I'm Alan Martin. California homeowners in mortgage trouble are one giant step closer to getting important new protections.
CBS 5 Consumer Watch reporter Julie Watts on a landmark vote setting strict rules on what banks can and cannot do. Julie.
Yeah, Dana, consumer groups are hailing this a huge victory. It should mean better treatment for people in mortgage trouble and an end to some tactics that hurt homeowners. This afternoon, lawmakers approved a measure that forbids banks from what's known as dual tracking or foreclosing on a home while a homeowner is trying to get a loan modification. It also requires banks to provide a single point of contact to homeowners who want those loan mods, and it outlaws robo-signing.
I think we all should feel very good that we have done something that was just the right thing to do.
Attorney General Kamala Harris says the bill would give struggling homeowners a fighting chance. However, Senate Republicans counter, saying it threatens gotcha lawsuits and forces lenders to go through a time-consuming and expensive process before they can foreclose. But one Bay Area man wishes he had more time in what advocates say is a textbook example of dual track. The bank sold his foreclosed home in just 3 months while he was hospitalized.
I'm just a simple homeowner who happened to get sick.
Like Dr. Chase, millions of Americans are just one illness away from losing their home. But he never imagined the bank would sell his while he was in the hospital.
For me, they happened pretty quickly.
He says his effort to save his home began with a trip to Wells Fargo, then to his assemblyman's office, which contacted Wells Fargo again for him. Then the bank directed him to apply for a loan mod at an upcoming workshop, providing this flyer.
Bring 2 copies of bank statements.
Dr. Chase brought all the necessary paperwork, but Wells Fargo never showed up.
And all the other banks show up.
So he filled out his application, and housing counselors told him to wait for Wells Fargo to call. Shortly thereafter, he was admitted to the hospital with congestive heart failure. And when he finally heard back from Wells Fargo,
they had sold my house the day before.
Just 6 months from his first missed payment. Quick sales like his are becoming more common, and housing counselor Sherry Powers says legally they don't even have to wait that long.
But it could be as short as 4 months.
She says banks can issue a notice of default after just 1 missed payment and sell your house 90 days later. And in many cases, one arm of the bank is processing the speedy foreclosure while the other is considering a loan mod. It's called dual track.
I mean, you see these things happen, you think there ought to be a law.
Well, now there is. But the new Homeowners Bill of Rights comes too late for Dr. Chase. This email indicates a Wells Fargo representative had Dr. Chase's file assigned to the Office of the President. Yet Wells Fargo says it has no record of receiving the loan modification or that Dr. Chase requested any assistance.
They're there to help, and they were of no help whatsoever.
Now, Wells Fargo says Dr. Chase's foreclosure was handled appropriately following state and local foreclosure laws, but we now know those laws are about to change. The ailing Dr. Chase will soon be evicted and forced to live in his car with his 2 dogs. But late last week, Wells Fargo did offer him $5,000 in relocation assistance. If you have a consumer problem, give us a call. 888-5HELPS-YOU or head to cbssf.com/consumerwatch.
It is that classic case of the left hand not knowing what the right hand is doing.
And think about how many foreclosures there are, how big these banks are, how many departments throughout the country.
Talk to each other. Yeah.
Just going to turn right around and sell that house and get their money back, and this poor man has nothing. That's infuriating. It's nauseating.
It's one of those cases where you wish you could do more.
Yep. Well, thank you for sharing his story.